welcome to the Marketing Mixers, our new podcast. And we're talking about all things marketing, making it accessible and really having a good old chat. So today we are drinking pink lemonade. Clink, clink.
Cheers.
Let's introduce ourselves. So I'm Nasia.
I'm Chanel.
And we really wanted to start Marketing Mixers to really provide a space for us to talk about an industry that we love, an industry that we've been in for a very, very long time. Maybe talk about some of the do's, the don'ts, the unseens, the scenes, and hopefully appeal to a new audience of people that want to get into marketing.
Okay. So we're starting off on the do's and don'ts about marketing and advertising sector.
Yes, so the do's, the don'ts. And this is really to appeal to people who may be starting their own brand. So a first do when it comes to developing your brand is to think of your brand like you would a person. So I say to people who are developing their brand, if, you know, it was a person, what would they look like? What would the tone of voice be? Yeah. Where would they like to go out? What would they not like? What would their icks be? Like, really make it, you know, what kind of music would they like to listen to? Really make it personable, because then you find a better way of being able to relate to different types of people, because that brand has to connect with a target audience. So it's not just the logo. The logo is great. It's a great start, but that could almost just be like the name, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to socialize as a brand, what kind of people would be in your tribe? Marketing, I've started to hear this phrase about tribes more and more.
Yes.
You know, everyone's like, what is the tribe? What are they like? Who's the tribe? These are the, you know, the aspirationals, whatever it is. But I think it does help to an extent. So, you know, think of distilling what your brand is about. And the first thing to do is try and make it a person. Think of you know, if they were to write something about themselves and it was a biography, you know, what
That's
would
such a good way to think about it.
Yeah, what would your brand be? Yeah. Just, it's beyond the logo, guys. What about you? What's a do on your list?
I think growing with your target audience. So, you know, as they age, the brand also ages.
That's a good point.
Because I think sometimes we focus a lot on getting new people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And thinking what's the newest trends and stuff, and kind of tailoring it to that. And it's not a bad thing.
No, of course.
But I do think it's also really important to make sure that you really focus on making sure that the people that were with you from the start stay with you, right?
Yeah, they've been loyal.
Because I feel like the new brands or the startup brands that I, you know, purchase with, like, they always continuously contact me. Like, one of the brands that I really like at the moment are Day. That's they're a female founded company.
Okay.
And, you know, like the other day I got email and they were like, oh, you were one of the first people to, you know, buy a specific product. You mind giving us feedback? I know. I was just like, yes, I could jump on the call at this time, you know?
Yeah.
And it just made me feel like, wow, you actually care. It's not just about, you know, always trying to, you know, get new customers. It's about actually keeping the ones that were there with you from the start and continue to be with you, right? Because they know what they really want and what they need, and they've shown that they're loyal to the brand, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to keep them loyal by making them seem really, you know, important as they are.
Like
customers
a group.
are important,
right?
right? And you're talking about tribes, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if, you know, like, say, primary school, right? When you have, like, your tribe there, you know, you try and keep those relationships.
But, you know. I was a misfit. I wasn't any type of tribe.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was a tribe. Yeah.
But you try and keep those relationships, right? And grow them, which is the same thing you should do with a brand. You know, don't ignore your friends that you've known for how many years, and just focus, you know, on your new friends.
Don't get brand new. Don't get brand new. Don't get brand new.
Me?
Yeah, exactly. I was first customer. I was first customer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I do think that's one of the importance. That's one of the do's. Just make sure that you are growing with the audience, and you kind of show your appreciation to the customers that were there from the start.
I think that's a really good point. And even to that point, like, it's actually more cost effective to market to your existing customers than it is to acquire. Customer acquisition costs are more expensive. So if you are burning through your existing customer pool and you're trying to always get the new, you're going to run out of cash. Okay.
Cash money,
So
honey.
I think I'm actually going to flip to a don't, because you just mentioned it. And I think it's really an important point. So that company has reached out to you. They've asked for feedback. Now, there are some people, especially in the day of this internet, people are unruly. So they are going to provide feedback, whether you ask for it or not. Now, if it's like your brand and it's your baby, it is very easy to get very protective over unsolicited feedback that may not be positive. However, I think it's something you can turn into a positive. So if you're getting DMs or you are getting emails of people who are your quintessential customer, so these are people that you do want to be your customer base, not just anybody that's like, well, to be honest, if you go, I don't really care. But if this is your target audience and they are giving you unsolicited feedback and it's similar and you see a trend, it might mean pay attention to it. So my thing is, do not ignore it and be like, well, you don't understand the vision. I'm out here, you went here with me in the gym, this is my vision. And I like, no. Let's like humble ourselves. Don't be too precious. And let's think objectively, okay, is this something that I should implement? If they're saying, listen, your packaging as it's entering my door is breaking down. Yeah, that's something that can actually damage your brand capital, because it's a part of the experience, from the part that they first hear about your brand to maybe purchasing a product and it coming through the door. That's all part of what builds the brand. So if they are giving feedback and it's something that you can implement and it's worth implementing, and it's not nice, it's not like, oh, we love you. Pay attention to it, because then they may also be more loyal, because they see exactly, shop your ear, open your ear. Like, they may see that, this is a brand that pays attention to me and values me as a customer. So just flips the script to that don't. But let's go back to the do's. What's another do that you would say to these people building their brand?
Can I jump back to a don't as
well?
Okay,
jump back to the don'ts.
I feel like I'm in the vibe of a don't now.
Yeah, we don't want to be too negative, but
Just jumping back in there. So another don't is, please don't jump on this. There was a trend at one point where companies, or it was seen that that companies were being deliberate to do triggering headlines. Let me doing triggering things to get headlines, right? Let me give you a few examples so you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. So first was the H&M coolest monkey in the jungle. And then there was Dove soap, right, where there was this black lady and she took off her top and it revealed a white lady. There was a lot of because they were trying to say that like Dove was for everyone or something like that. So there was multiple people, but I think it was like people took it as people took it as the black person turning into a white woman, which was Steve Basham and stuff. So it was a massive backlash, right? Which gave a lot of press. Same thing with H&M, they got a lot of press. Then another one was Heineken, where you see a bartender slide the beer past 3 black people and it stops near the hand of a lighter skinned woman, and then the tagline comes up saying sometimes lighter is better.
You're lying.
I swear to you.
You're lying. You have to send me that link.
I'm serious.
Because that is so obviously triggering and it's to get attention. And I don't know, because that's also offensive, because as a black person, if I saw that, I'm not going to buy your product. So they must be thinking, let's burn this audience that we have and appeal to the other audience that might like this triggering thing.
But that's the thing. They know that it gets headlines. So, these ad agencies, marketing, they, the budgets are small as it is, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm
bad PR.
I'm gonna jump on this this trigger, this triggering thing to get loads of clicks, to get loads of views, to get people talking about it. And like, it's so bad and it's so sad. But they see this as a tactic, because they saw H&M get. Do you remember that uproar that came from that?
Because it was about the kid in the jungle and it wasn't tasteful. And you know what? Sometimes brands do it unknowingly, and sometimes you said they're doing it to get the clickbait.
The first one, but you should learn. Other companies should learn from that.
And then they come up with that apology that's kind of all rehearsed. Oh, we don't know, but the person who was responsible has been fired. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a very, very good point. Another, I don't know, I'm in this don't spirit as well. We need to move back to some do's, but this one is something that I'm like, every time I see it or talk to people developing their brands, and then I always see this. So look, there are obviously content creators out there where their brand is their business. So it's synonymous with what they're selling and the products that they're pushing out there and the services. However, there are times when it is not. So you may have a middle-aged woman who's selling some clothes and the target audience are Gen Z, the younger audience, but they will market to that audience in the way that they would market to themselves. And it's like, please separate the two. Your brand, unless it is you are your personal brand, then you need to separate those personas. So you should have a clear identity of who you are targeting, what they like, how they like to be reached, and separate that from what you like, because you're just going to end up in a pitfall of not reaching your audiences effectively. So if I am a middle-aged woman and I love to read Marie Claire, for example, I don't know if this is what they read. I'm just making examples. Nobody jump on me. I don't know. I'm just putting out an example to paint the picture. And you're targeting millennials or Gen Z who spend the majority of their time looking through short form video content and not print, and you're putting a post in Marie Claire. Millennial Gen Z say, I don't know you. I'm sorry, I don't know you. I've never heard of your brand. So it's like, that is a very clear pitfall that I think young brands can sometimes make if they don't educate themselves, which moves me on to a do, because I want to supplicate it. Like, let me supplement it with a do. So even though, like, I've been in the industry for about 10 years or so, and I've moved from market research to digital agencies, and I'm in ad tech. But the thing that has resonated with me the most throughout my career so far is one of the first lessons I learned, which is about market research and the importance of that being the foundation for shaping a brand. Because there's a reason why companies, and big companies, even the likes of Coca-Cola and the brands that we know and love, have spent millions on market research. It's because you need to really deeply understand your target audience, who they are, what they like, their needs, their motivations, their aspirations, so that you can put your product in front of them in a way that will resonate, and also convince them to part with their hard-earned cash. Times are hard. You need to tell me why I need to pay attention to you. Tell me that it's going to be worth it if I put these coins in your hand. So, I know for small-scale brands, it's not easy to start doing that, because the budget is tighter when it comes to small. You have to make use of every pound that you have. So a good way to start is maybe interviewing people that fall in your target audience, that you actually have access to, and having them invite their friends and them inviting their friends. So it's either you could have a luncheon. I don't know why I say luncheon.
I love that though.
You can have a luncheon and
love a luncheon.
And then ask them questions. Say, hey guys, I'm launching this brand and you are the type of audience I want to reach. So, start asking your questions, and then it will start a conversation. You're taking those notes furiously, but it helps validate some of your thinking, and maybe something that you thought would be good won't be a good fit, but you've asked them, you've got to almost sense check it. And if you want to do it in a more quantitative way, you could create a form on Google. That's free. I think SurveyMonkey has some free services. Free services as well, where you can create a survey. I would say have closed-ended questions so that you can actually make the results quantitative. So if it's like, hey, do you like the look of this logo? Yes, no, maybe, think again, whatever. And then it's like they can select the choice, then you can extrapolate those results. I've done that with a few brands. I've done it with things I've started as well, and it just helps validate that this will work. Even if it's on a small scale, you can start there. So a do is do your research, your market research specifically.
I like how that rolled.
Yeah.
I've got to do.
Yeah. What we gonna do?
Your company should reflect your brand. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Wow.
You should make sure that whoever you're trying to capture is also who works for you. right? I feel like this is something that's not done a lot, right, of the time. I think it's done really well. Well, not really. I feel like it's done decently in the beauty community.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that. But from what I've seen,
what we've seen,
it seems to be
like experience.
Yeah, because I've no experience in that, but from what I see as a consumer, I feel like it's done quite well. Because actually, I have worked in beauty before many moons ago, but I did.
You're not new to this, girl.
I did. I'm not new to this. I even thought, I was like, no, I haven't. No, I have.
You have.
Yeah. So, I feel like the type of people that are buying this particular product, right? They're the type of people that also work there. And it really does cut out all of this unnecessary possible backlash for advertisements or branding when it's pushed out, because there's people that are there to say, don't really think this is gonna work, or when you're running past ideas to your team members, there'll be a team member that'll be like, actually, I think that might be taken the wrong way, or I think this could be taken out of context, you know, or maybe if we change this background, or maybe, and I'm not just talking, because sometimes it's like, people that have trouble with color, when it comes to reading or stuff like that, just other things that people don't really think of. If they hired someone that had that type of understanding, because they've lived it or been through it, then they're there to say, actually, maybe we can change this or change that color. Because I remember I was working for a company, and one of the guys that was working there, he pointed out something that I would have never thought of, right?
Really?
And he was like, oh, yeah, and it was the colours thing. He was like, if you change this onto this, people like me who, I can't remember what the actual thing was, but he was like, it's easier for me to read or something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, thank you, sir. Yeah. And
but it's important that you were also willing to listen, because some people, it only works, you can have the right people there that reflect the brand, but if you've got certain people in positions that are going to be the be all end all, what I say goes, and doesn't have that listening
spirit,
girl, the listening spirit, the listening and understanding spirit. If they don't have it, then it can just fall to the wayside. So I think it's also important to, if you do have the budget to hire people, make sure you hire people who are I would say blue sky thinkers, the ones that aren't just going to be, I've done it this way, I must do it this way, I must control it this way. We've worked with those people. It's just come on, we're in an industry where it's you have to, because I believe that marketing and advertising specifically either reflects culture or it leads it. And we've seen those cultural zeitgeist moments as well. We'll get into that in other episodes, so stay tuned. But yeah, I agree 100%. So we're going to talk about why we actually started Marketing Mixers in the first place. Chanel, why did we start Marketing Mixers in the first place?
Do you know what? I personally, I just thought I wanted somewhere where people could go to understand marketing and advertisement a bit better.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't want to say it, but I want to say it.
Say it, release it.
It's watered down. I think marketing's been watered down recently with the amount of people that are getting into it. And I'm not going to say that because that sounds mean. What I mean is that, these TikToks, this side hustle in marketing. It's it's not a side hustle, it's a whole full-time thing.
Oh yeah,
and I think,
speak on it.
I think people don't understand fully the whole marketing mix, right? When people think of marketing, they generally think of online stuff, right?
Yeah.
They don't really think about other things anymore.
They don't.
And I think that's the big mistake. And I think I want this so people understand, okay, if I'm not digital savvy, right, I can do it this way or I can do it that way.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, I can't do marketing at all because I don't know how to do a TikTok. It's more than that. And I think I want people to turn this on and be like, oh, I can do it this way and I can do it that way. Whether, you're starting up as a sole trader or you're, I've got a startup or you're, a really small business and you're trying to understand, how to do marketing and how to do advertisement. I think this is the platform for them.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I think it's also for me, being in this industry that I love and I have loved, and it keeps me like entertained as well as learning, is the fact that I just want more voices that come from people that look like us as well, providing a space and to show that we're about, this is something that people from ethnic minorities can also decide to pick up as a career, because I know we have a lot of us will have the same story where our parents are like, it's going to be doctor, it's going to be lawyer, it's going to be accountant. If it doesn't fall into that, what are you doing with your life? Why are you here? But there are other lucrative streams of income and careers that you can build. And we just want to share some of our experiences. And just to explain the logo, because I think it might speak to some people who are already in marketing who might have recognized that it looks like a cocktail glass. We do love to enjoy ourselves, but it's also the marketing mix funnel, which starts off from that awareness, engagement, moving down all to purchase intent. So we are having fun, but we're also talking about serious marketing things.
So, guys, make sure you follow us.
Yes.
On TikTok and Instagram at Marketing Mixers UK.
Until next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.